Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Misha Janice. I have a channel here on YouTube, but today I am visiting Judy, the YouTube lawyer. This is her channel that she graciously invited me to join her on today for this afternoon live stream, where we are going to be discussing all things Adelson, all things Donna Adelson and her guilty verdict. Wendi Adelson, the fallout from that, so much drama, so much stuff is still going on and percolating in the background, even since when was that? 2 weeks ago now, the guilty verdict.
September 4th.
Yeah. So I
day.
don't know. This is just going to be a chill, laid back conversation, chatting, catching up. And I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me, Judy. And thank you for being so accommodating to my scheduling.
Oh, sure. That's fine. I mean, we usually don't get as many viewers if it's during the middle of the day because people are working, but we'll have fun. And plus it's good to catch up with you. So tell us what's been going on with you, because, I was kind of sad that you weren't on YouTube as much recently.
I know. Oh man, life has been lifing. Like I was telling you before, the past few months have been quite the whirlwind. I've been keeping tabs on this trial, obviously, and all things related to the Adelsons and justice for Dan. But life has just, gotten overwhelming almost.
Yeah.
There's, I don't know, probably some of it is mental and just trying to get back in the the gist of everything with streaming and everything, school starting back, and some medical issues in the family that was taking quite a bit of time. So I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to see everybody that's joining us on this live.
Great to see you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So, because it seems like so long ago, back in September of 2024, when we were making plans to have dinner together during Donna's trial in Tallahassee, and then it didn't happen. So,
yes, I was so disappointed that it did not happen then. I mean, I had my Airbnb booked. I had my rental car. I had my whole itinerary, and it didn't happen. So I kind of knew that when the trial was going to be happening this year, I wasn't going to be able to make it up there just because of, timing and scheduling and everything. But, everything happens for a reason. So,
yeah. So were you glued to YouTube or trying to watch it from home?
Absolutely. I mean, did anybody miss any of it?
Well, I guess if people are watching the show, 2 weeks after the verdict, they must be addicted to this Dan Markel case like we are.
Yeah.
Well, can you tell? Well, people might not know who you are, so can you give a quick bio of yourself?
Sure. So I am here in Florida. I'm in South Florida. I'm actually in Broward County, which is where the Adelsons lived originally, I guess, when they came down from wherever they came, New York. Yeah, so their property in Coral Springs is not very far from where I live. And I guess I kind of got on the YouTube spotlight for a little bit because I went to Charlie Adelson's home, the investment property that he had, not the Tortuga's house. The Tortuga's
it was for his baby mama. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and I posted a video doing a walkthrough of that property, which people are still watching.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you did a bunch of videos about real estate, didn't you? Since you live right there.
Yeah, I did do some videos about Adelson real estate. I went to where the dental practice was up the road from me. I did some of their investment properties. I think that was taken down actually.
Oh,
Um,
why? Why was it taken down?
I I don't know. I think it said something about addresses or listen, I don't even know. Um,
This is
the rental properties. Oops.
Sorry.
What else did I do? I think that's it. I think that's it.
Oh, okay. So did you go to Will Harper also?
I did go to Whale Harbor. I did go to Whale Harbor. That's a story for another day. I've driven
Oh,
by Whale Harbor many times, and I actually haven't gone by there since it was sold. It was sold, I can't remember, in January maybe of this year. I can't
yeah,
remember exactly
sometime
when it
this
was
year.
sold. Recently, this year, I think it was. Um, but yeah, I have driven by there multiple
Oh,
times.
okay.
This is
Well,
Tortugas.
yeah, this is Tortugas Lane. And did anyone give you funny looks because you were recording the whole time?
Here, no, 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 not at
Mhm.
all. When we got to this property, I think we were the first people that were there for the open house, and the realtor, he was cool. He was fine.
Did you
Yeah.
say that you were interested or did he ask you who you were and stuff?
No, no, he
Really?
didn't ask
Oh,
who we were or anything. I think I maybe said something like, we saw the open house signs and we like going to open houses or something like that, which is the absolute truth.
yeah, yeah, it is interesting because you want to see like what do these houses look like inside?
Of
Yeah.
course, of course. And I had a friend of mine who lived maybe 2 or 3 streets down from this property. And I had been going there for a Bible study. And so when I realized that Charlie's property was right here, I was like, oh my goodness, I've been driving by it all this time and
Mhm.
didn't know. So that piqued my interest even more. And I was like, I have to see it.
Yeah. Well, look at those tacky lions. Oh, look at this. God bless each one united and bless the something something.
Yeah.
Okay. I wonder if Charlie bought that or maybe his child's mother bought it.
Good question. I have
Yeah.
no idea. I have
Because
no idea.
didn't you see a child's car seat in there?
Yeah, there was in this bedroom that we're looking at right
Oh,
right
right there.
now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the property was okay. It's definitely not my style. I don't like the split level living. You have to walk downstairs to get to the kitchen, and then this,
Mhm.
what we're seeing, is the main level. Then you have to walk upstairs to get to the other bedrooms. Not my preference at all, but
Mhm.
a lot of the houses that were built in that area are kind of like that split level um, layout. Yeah.
Oh, so there are some golf clubs in there?
There were golf clubs there.
Wait, did it look like somebody was still sort of living there?
No, it
Oh,
didn't look like anyone was living there. It just looked like random things were just left.
mhm.
Random things were just in there.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows why? The golf clubs, the car seat. Yeah.
Yeah. She must have taken off quickly and she didn't give a hoot about what was left in that house, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. But see,
Nothing of value to
uh,
her.
I'm just surprised that the realtor wasn't more inquisitive and friendly towards you because usually the realtors are really extroverted and they're excited
Hmm.
when a potential buyer shows up.
Well, I remember him being very nice. He gave us information about the dock, and I think we'd asked like what the dock rental rates, could go for.
Mhm.
And he told us that some other people also came to the open house. So
Uh-huh.
he spent some time talking with them as well. I didn't want to get them on camera.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I mean, he was fine.
Yeah. Oh, so that explains it because if somebody showed up, then of course he didn't have time to fixate on you and
Of
try to
course. Yeah.
So you didn't have to make up some big story
Yeah.
as to who you are and why you're interested.
I much prefer that type of open house where they're not just hovering over you and kind of like following around. I like peeking around,
Whoa, what's that food? Was there food in the fridge?
There was
Yeah,
it was something. Was that
it
whipped
looked
cream
like
and some
salad or
drinks?
something. Yeah, that's weird. What does that look like?
I can't remember what
Candy?
that was. It looks like candy. I don't remember what that was.
Yeah, because it's like multicolored little plastic.
Yeah,
I
little
think it's a
pieces.
thing of candy, but maybe they put it there to keep it away from ants.
Ants. Mm-hmm. Ants or bugs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The Cool Whip with no
Yeah,
no
why is
cover
there
on
that
there.
Cool
I don't
Whip
know
or
what
Ready
that was.
Whip with no cap on it? What was that for? Random thing of Ready Whip, Cool Whip. Well, thank you, Mari, for your generous donation. Yeah, the realtor's lunch, which is Cool Whip and candy. Yeah. Yeah.
Gross.
Oh, it was from Harvey's birthday dinner. Yeah, you
Mm.
guys are hilarious. Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. So
Mm.
let's get back to the trial though. So what were some of your general takeaways from the trial?
I think it went like we all expected it to go, right?
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
were a few like little gems there, information that I don't think had been released before. Not like a huge, overwhelming amount of stuff. That leads me to believe that they probably have more stuff that they didn't need in this trial against Donna. Um, but yeah, there were definitely some gems of information. Give us something to think about.
Mm-hmm.
I just re-listened to Wendi Adelson's trial testimony again, and man, she is something
Mm-hmm.
else.
Mm-hmm.
She is
Yeah.
something else. I think the thing that struck me first was her demeanor. I mean, other than the eyebrows.
Yeah, the Spock eyebrows that were, I mean, is that from overdone Botox or misapplied Botox, the
I
Spock
have no
Klingon
idea. I
eyebrows?
mean, I'm
Yeah.
assuming it was a Botox job. When I when I saw it, I was like, what would I look like with Botox?
Does everybody want to look like that these days? Sort of like with those like puffy lips that you
Oh,
see some women have. It's like that looks so fake and creepy. The
right, right,
clown lips.
right. I
Yeah.
mean, they have to live with it. So I don't know her. I don't know. I don't know when she started doing the eyebrows, but they were a stark difference than her prior trial testimony eyebrows.
Mm-hmm.
So other than that, her demeanor just seemed less, definitely less giggly than prior trials. Um, I don't recall her smiling much, whereas she smiled a lot more in other trials and tried to be cutesy, you
Yeah.
know. And she seemed to like give way and just answer a lot of things without a lot of defiance that we've seen in the past. Kind of like Georgia asking, was your divorce amicable? And she'd be like, no. Whereas in the past, she'd be like, well, is any divorce amicable? This one was okay, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I'm sure she was coached on that. They probably just coached her to say, listen, quit giving the runaround, just give a firm response and stick to it. I don't know. So
Mm-hmm.
those are the first two things that kind of jumped out at me about her demeanor.
Yeah. And I did type up a very quick, scanty memo here. So I'll go ahead and show it. But these are what I recall were the new tidbits of info that
Mm-hmm.
we discovered during
Sure.
Donna's trial.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Can you blow that up a little bit?
yeah, I'll try to.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
So
yes. Continuum lease.
yes.
Yes. I have that written down too.
Yeah, that's right. That was a surprise because some YouTubers, such as True Lifestyles, had previously done videos about this, that there was this contract signed, I think it was in March, by Harvey and Donna. This is what I'm going by memory. So if I get it wrong, you guys tell me. But they signed this contract for the condo months before Dan was killed. And the first attempt was in June, around June
Right.
1st or June 4th ish.
Yeah. Right.
So then it turns out that Wendi was added to the lease too.
Well, okay. So I have, after listening to her testimony this morning again, it seemed like March 2014, the parents signed this contract or lease, which
yes,
I've never heard of, a weekend lease. I don't know what that's about.
What?
If it was
a weekend lease?
Well, remember Wendi said, yeah, they would work in Tamarack during the week and they would spend the weekends down.
They just
in
wanted
Miami
to
Beach.
try it out, right? That's what she
Exactly.
said in the police interview.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was technically a weekend lease or a contract with, somebody who lived in the property.
That's like her made up word, like K-turn. Some like little spin on words. Yeah, it was a weekend lease, trying to minimize it. Oh, yeah, it's just a weekend.
But then she was added as a resident in April of that year, March, April. So the following month.
That was April.
Yeah. Georgia said May, but I think she looked at a document and she said, it says here April 2014. Wendi and Charlie were added as residents and Rob was added as an emergency contact. And when she came from Tallahassee, she went directly to the Continuum. So she didn't even go to Coral Springs, which I don't know if I had heard that before.
Yeah, I don't know why I heard that also, that supposedly she lived with her parents for a little while. But once again, that didn't really make sense because the kids have to start school somewhere. And they were at school right there in that sort of downtown urban area.
Right. Although it was summertime. So I guess they wouldn't have been in school until
August.
Although they were like in preschool. So it just probably didn't matter much when they started.
Yeah, the bottom line is it's very suspicious that they get this condo and then she's added to it. And of course, I made a short focusing on her explanation, which is that, it's high security. So they had to add me to the lease so I could visit. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. They should have a visitor log or some procedure for visitors to come.
Exactly. So those are the kind of things that I'm wondering if there's more information. Like, did anybody look into that additionally at the time or since then? Has anybody asked like Continuum management, like how did it actually go back then in 2014 when you had a regular guest? Was there a regular guest list? People who are approved as guests, or would you just add those people as residents, which seems, I don't know, it's those two things seem to be very different.
Yeah. So this is all stuff I think they're saving more for Wendi's trial if she finally gets arrested. I'm getting annoyed, but maybe it'll take another month or so.
I don't know. It's a waiting game. The consensus seems to be that everybody, including Donna jurors, believe that there was some involvement.
That's right. They all thought that Wendi was involved.
Right. So that's good. The license plate number, that's another thing that was a gem that we learned in this trial. Why does Donna have Dan Markel's license plate written down in her diary?
Her day planner from 2014, all the way in the back. Yeah, that's very suspicious. And of course, people have been saying it had to have been Wendi that gave her that info because, who pays attention to somebody else's license plate number? I don't
Exactly.
even, sometimes I forget my own license plate number.
I don't have it memorized.
Yeah, or my family members. I don't know what their license plate
I have
number,
no idea.
nor would we need to write it down in our day planners.
I don't have it written
Weird.
down anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So that's strange and that's telling. And I would love to hear what explanation there is. By the way, I think if Wendi is arrested and tried, there's no way she's testifying. So
Yeah.
we've probably heard the last of Wendi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is unfortunate. But
yeah. Well, she's already tripped herself up in the public eye so many times. So that's why I'm still going to crank out some more short videos highlighting the stupid things she said or did. So because there's just so much hilarity in it. I mean, other than the fact that this has to do with a murder, but the supreme arrogance of these people is just something we can sort of laugh at them over. They deserve it. So
right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What about the secret boyfriend when she lied to Rob and said their parents didn't know about this new guy, Jeff Lacasse? But here's some. Did she send him pictures of him? I think
she sent a picture of her and Jeff, or maybe just Jeff, to Rob, saying don't tell the parents, which is it's just weird. He thought it was strange because he'd never gotten into Wendi's boys or Wendi's men or boyfriends or anything like that before. So he thought it was strange, but why would she have done that? Was she really thinking that many steps down the road?
Yes, exactly. And once again, this reminds me of what some people have mentioned, which is that when Wendi was plotting to leave Dan back in 2012, she was still acting like everything was great while she was meticulously plotting with Donna in the background. And she was supposedly planning Danny's 40th birthday. And from what I heard, she contacted a bunch of friends and asked them to create videos or something as a birthday greeting. But then lo and behold, she ditched him and she had already taken that mandatory parenting class with the court system because everything was already planned out. So this shows how cunning and deceitful she can
manipulative as well. Yeah. The fact that I guess Donna secured the rental property for her.
Yes.
We didn't know that before.
Yeah.
There was something else. Oh gosh. Brain fart.
Oh, well, and then Donna used her maiden name because she's so cunning and sneaky that way, because she didn't want anyone in the community to get wind that Wendi was planning to move and ditch Dan.
Right. Oh, I think we've heard this before, but she just reiterated again. I don't know if she thinks that people are dumb or what. She says things like, Danny and I, we talked about a lot of things and we came to agreements verbally. But then when things happened or when documents were actually filed, all of a sudden he has a problem with it. Really? Really?
No.
Like she said that they had talked multiple times about a separation, yet when it happened, he was so taken by surprise, yet they had talked about it. Also, the filing of, was it the relocation? I think it was the relocation motion. She said, oh yeah, Danny and I, we had talked about it. He said that he was considering it, but then once I filed it, he changed his mind, which implies that at one point he said, yes, I would relocate. But now once it's filed, he changed his mind and is fighting it. So it's hard to believe anything that comes out of her mouth. And Danny's not here, obviously, to, rebut what she has to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sorry. I just thought of another point, which was that her brother said Wendi and Donna specifically plotted to drop the bomb on Dan right
Mm-hmm.
before he was about to go give a speech at a legal conference to
Yeah.
say, like, hey, Wendy's, I'm leaving you.
Yes, I remember that. I remember
Yeah.
that.
So mean, so
Yeah.
cruel. It's like
It's
unnecessarily
cruel.
cruel.
It's very
Yeah.
cruel, you know? Um, and really just trying to stick it to him and hurt
Mm-hmm.
him as much as possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then she canceled her cable service. I'm pretty sure was July 7th. So that's also suspicious. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, we already knew that she didn't want Jeff Lacasse around that whole week, that she
Right.
was probably packing and plotting with her family members.
Right.
So, how convenient that she told him she needed a break and let's have no communication for 1 week.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right. I see. Stop the possible Okay, I have a question about the house purchase in Tallahassee.
Mhm.
And this is another thing that I wonder, did they get any additional information about this property purchase? What
Hmm.
stage was it at? Was it during an escrow phase? Was it, during the time where she's not going to lose any earnest money?
Hmm.
And if Charlie met Katie on Halloween night, right?
Yeah.
At a Halloween party. That's the 31st. At what point did Wendi cancel the contract? Also on
Yeah.
the 31st,
I,
before getting the picture from Charlie? I'm a little unclear about the timeline with that.
yeah. I don't know the details either, but my impression was that she probably wasn't under contract where she would have to lose money. I'm just guessing because then we probably would have heard Donna complaining about how
About
they
lost
lost the
money.
money. I don't know. I mean, we're just guessing. Yeah.
Hmm.
So definitely the prosecution did make a big deal about this Halloween day because that's when Katie recalled Charlie got in the car before they were going to a Halloween party and
Right.
asked her, do you know anyone who can harm someone?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's some questions about that.
Mhm.
Um, oh yeah, Jeff, when children develop memories, which
Yeah.
he wasn't ultimately allowed to testify about, right?
Yeah, which I think is kind of weird because I'd have to rewatch it, but I think it was because he was starting to say stuff as if he were an
An
expert. But I'm
expert.
like, well, even if you're not an expert, you should still be able to say that, she asked me. Well, of course, there's that hearsay issue, and she's not the one on trial.
That's true.
I don't know, but I trust Judge Everett did the right thing and just said
That's
you
true.
can't even ask Jeff about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been
Mhm.
um a hearsay issue.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um
Although
I
it should I feel like he could testify as to that if there is a trial for Wendy. Yeah.
Wendi, right, because it was
Yeah.
a conversation with her.
Yeah.
Um so
That's so suspicious also, right?
it
Because
really
we
is.
heard it.
It
Yeah.
really is kind of like showing concern about what's going to happen. What about the kids?
Mhm.
That's kind of the first indication, really, of them thinking about the future of the kids and the potential impact that something like this might have on the kids, right? We
Mhm.
haven't heard anything else about that other than, the kids should be around their grandparents because their grandparents love them.
Yeah, that it's stable. Wendi wanted more stable environment because Dan was probably going to eventually move due
Right.
to his hotshot career. But, this also reminds me of how during the police interview, she suddenly said that she had talked to the kids the other day about death. And
Oh,
her child just kind of supposedly laughed and said, God is dead or something. But I'm like, well, what a coincidence that
that's
you happen
wild.
to talk to your kids about death the
Right.
day or so before their father is killed.
Like a precursor.
Yeah, because she knew what was going to happen. Just our opinions, of course.
Speaking
Yeah.
about the police interview, real quick, one of the things that I wrote down, Wendi said that she was told in the car going to the police station from her lunch. She was told in the car that Dan was shot.
Total lie.
So why then did she put on such airs, such a show with Detective Bison?
Mhm.
Why?
Well, she
Why
just
did why did she act like it was her first time hearing it? Why
mhm.
did she act so confused when she heard the realtor's voicemail message?
Yeah. It just doesn't make sense. She just thinks she can get away with spewing a bunch of lies to people who don't know the details. For example, to jurors. The jurors didn't know
Hmm.
about her police interview. So she
Right.
just wanted to make it seem like, see, it was no big deal that, I wasn't all freaked out and stuff because they already told me that,
Yeah. Yeah.
that
Absolutely.
he'd been shot. Yeah. It was
You
weird.
mentioned really quickly, you mentioned how she said that she was going to have more security down south.
Or
Well,
stability. Yeah.
yeah, more stability because her job was a grant funded job and she didn't know from year to year if she was
Yeah.
going to have a position. Well, at least she would know from year to year. If she was in any other type of position, Florida's an at will state.
Yeah.
They can fire you at any point. So, is that something that she did not think of? I believe it was during Jeff Lacasse's testimony. It came up something about the position that she had been offered in South Florida.
Mhm.
And the question was something like, so did she take the position? This big position that she was going to have so much stability and so much
Yeah.
security, and it was a
With a
grant,
law
she's going to make
firm.
so much money with a law firm.
There's
And
no
Jeff said,
stability with a law firm job,
absolutely
right?
not.
We know that. People get
Right?
canned or shown the door or
Just
pushed
like
out the
that.
door. Yeah. There's no
Well,
stability.
he started saying that no, she never went to work for the law firm because one of the partners there, and then there was an objection. Do you remember that?
No.
Oh,
This was during Lacasse's
I
testimony?
think it was during Jeff Lacasse's testimony. He was about to say some reason why Wendi didn't end up working for the law firm that she had an offer for.
Oh, okay.
And we never got the end
Oh,
of the
you know what?
explanation.
You know
What?
what? I guess it was because it was all a made up lie. Because from what I recall, and I've read and watched way too much, so I can't recall where exactly I heard this, but the job was just a made up job from Harvey's friend's law firm. And it's a medical malpractice law firm. We know how tough it is when you have a litigation job for,
Hmm.
a firm where you're expected to be there all the time and at night and possibly
Yep.
work weekends, do
Yep.
trials and stuff. So that wouldn't have been a step up whatsoever from this cushy clinical law professor job where she could
She
work
only
from
worked a couple
home and
days.
yeah,
Yeah.
had plenty of dates off and could travel to South Florida for 4-day weekends and
She
have a
had that
summer
made.
break. Yeah. So what happened is I think the friend came up with this job to help Wendi with her relocation
Right.
motion to say,
Right.
look, I have this great job that's already lined up. But then later the friend took back the job offer.
Mm,
So I don't know why, but it could have just been that the job didn't really exist or
exists.
he didn't really want Wendi. It's just his
Yeah.
friend's kid, and he was
Yeah.
doing a favor to pretend that there's some great paying job. And
Right.
another weird thing is that Donna kept saying, or at least she said once in an email, that the law firm job would pay plenty more than her current job. But her current job had given her a raise to something like 105K a year. Whereas the medical malpractice job, I'm pretty sure at the civil deposition, she said it would have paid like 115, something
Not
like
much
it wasn't
more.
like a huge difference for
Yeah.
starting pay. I mean, the
Right.
potential was there if she ever made partner to make a
Mm-hmm.
lot more, but that's a lot of ifs.
Right. Yeah. That's a
Yeah.
lot of ifs. And that $10,000 difference would get eaten up like a Miami second just because of the cost of living difference.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. Well, NCA is saying they didn't hire her because of the scandal after the murder. Wendi alluded to it at the McBanuel trial. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
well, that's good for Gary. At
Yeah.
least Gary wasn't a total fool thinking like,
Right.
oh, I'll just hire my good buddy's daughter, despite
Yeah.
the fact that she has no medical malpractice or litigation
No
experience.
litigation, no
Yeah.
actual practice, no law practice.
Yeah, sort of
So,
immigration, but mostly giving speeches and bragging about herself and
and
trying to
clerking.
act like a humanitarian. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Um, let's talk about let's talk about Donna's involvement in Wendy's divorce because, ooh, girl,
Mhm.
my jaw dropped when I saw that email that Donna sent with the Match.com potential matches for Wendy to
Yeah.
check out.
Yeah. Moss in Miami.
I was
Check
like,
out this
oh
doctor.
my
Check out this
goodness.
guy.
Like, first of all, Donna, why are you trying to set her up with another lawyer?
Yeah, it's probably not going to work out.
Don't you know that would be a mistake?
Well, with anybody, it seems, even if Donna
Well,
approves
yeah.
of him first. Yeah.
Right. I just think that it's hilarious that she went so far as to go through Match.com matches to try and find somebody for her daughter.
Yeah.
Wild. Just
Yeah, it's just
wild.
like a totally meddling person. I mean, neither one of my parents would ever have gone through the lengths of going through dating sites to try to find somebody for
Absolutely
me.
not. Wendy said something about yeah, they may not be that tech savvy, so I may have helped them with the Evite invitation
Yeah.
for Harvey's birthday.
Uh-huh.
Well, if Donna can make her way around the dating websites, she can certainly make her way around an online
Evite.
Evite.
It's
Exactly.
pretty easy to send an Evite. Yeah,
Yeah. You
it's
just
not
fill in the
hard.
blanks. But
Yeah.
it didn't even stop there. It went on to Donna pretending to be Wendi. Um, uh, Georgia mentioned something about Donna making phone calls as Wendi, I guess, to help with the divorce proceedings and
Mhm.
talking to financial institutions and stuff like that,
Mhm.
pretending to be Wendi. And Wendi
Yeah.
was just like, yeah, I don't get money. So, mommy and daddy do that for me.
Jeez.
Really?
I'm like, what? You're in your 30s and you're a licensed attorney and a clinical law professor, and you don't know nothing about your own finances or your
You,
family's money or
you don't
real
know your
estate. What real
finances.
estate do they have? Yeah.
You don't know your accounts. So did you disclose those accounts that you don't know anything about in your divorce proceedings?
Hmm.
Did you? I don't know. And then Donna, of course, editing the divorce documents and pleadings and stuff like that,
Yeah.
which Kristen Abramson seemed to think didn't happen. But we saw it. We saw it on the big screen. Donna's edits and her responses and her suggestions.
Hmm.
So she was in the thick of it. She was in the thick of it. And I did a video a long time ago going through the marital settlement agreement.
Hmm.
And Donna was one of the witnesses who signed it
Ah,
at the very
okay.
end.
Wow. Yeah, she was like right there,
She
constantly
was
in Tallahassee,
right
talking with
there.
her lawyer, bugging
Yeah,
the heck out of her. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, here's a question for you. Can Wendy's boyfriend really adopt her kids? Well, they're not even in Florida. So I don't know what the law could be.
Where are they? Are they in Texas
Possibly
still or
Colorado, maybe.
Colorado? No idea.
Yeah, we're not licensed there, so I'm sorry.
No, this is so sweet. I like the name though.
Yeah. But I
Hmm.
think just based on what little I know about adoption in my state, that you could potentially give up your kids for adoption or include somebody else if you wanted to as the parent.
I
So
I think
probably
so.
he could. Yeah.
Probably.
So the answer is maybe. That's
Yeah.
the legal, disclaimer is we're not licensed there.
I
So
mean, just thinking about it though, that she would bring in a non-family member to take care of her
the
kids.
kids. Yeah.
Um, I I don't know. I don't know what kind of decision making that would be. She has family, Rob and his wife. I don't know if they're in a
Yeah.
position to take
But
in kids. Harvey,
well,
who
she's
knows
not
what's
even,
going to happen with him?
yeah, she's not even in touch with Rob anymore, though. So, of course, Wendy probably does think that
They're
her
not.
boyfriend for the last few years is a lot closer to the kids and can
Mm,
provide stability to keep them in the same school or
mm,
whatever.
mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Mhm. Yeah. Well,
No.
let me, if you don't mind, I sort of want to play a few seconds here and there from Surviving the Survivor, because I just found it so interesting the night of the verdict when they did a live. I was watching from the hotel room, and Dave Herrenberg was one of the guests. So he seemed very excited and very positive that Wendy is going to eventually get arrested. So
Okay.
okay. So hopefully this is okay because I think I'm on good terms with the STS people. So just a few little snippets here. It's like around the 16-minute mark here. And then we might get an ad. So we'll see.
Oh, yeah.
Since I'm too cheap to pay for premium. Okay, here we go. Okay.
And as a state attorney, rely on your homicide prosecutor. And Georgia Kaplan is the best lawyer in that room. She's very experienced, and Jack Campbell relied on her. And ultimately, it'll be Georgia and Jack's decision where to go next. But I would be shocked if that train doesn't go to Wendy's house next. I really do believe it's happening. Before this trial, I thought it was more likely than not that if and when Donna was convicted, that Wendy would be next. So I'm going from a 55% chance to a 95% chance now because the prosecution has tipped their hand. They've been talking about Wendy a lot in this trial, just like they talked about Donna at Charlie's trial, just like they talked about Charlie in Katie's trial. They tell you where they're going to go. So it'll be very interesting. I do expect, by the way, the train of justice to arrive at our doorstep soon. I would say within 30 days.
Wow, that's fast.
30 days.
I do. I know it may be within 30 days of sentencing. That's the other thing. It's either 30 days of the decision or 30 days of sentence. I haven't decided, but it's going to happen sooner than you expect because why?
So
why
within
wait?
within 60 days.
Within 60 days because I think it's October 14th, and yeah.
So
But
tell me, Dave, you've got the experience.
Okay, and then there's another poignant part where Jared Ross, who was a friend of Charlie and Wendy's since they were teenagers, he makes a few comments that I think are worth highlighting here. Did
A
you
friend
watch
of
this?
Dan Markel's?
Well, he was later a friend of Dan's because he met Dan through Wendy when they both wound up in Tallahassee again.
Okay.
So, but then later he became Team Danny, especially, a couple of years after Dan was murdered, and he gradually realized that he had been fooled by Wendy. And he did mention a long time ago that he had sort of gone on a movie date with Wendy when he was maybe 14 or 15. And then he didn't really know Charlie that well until they met up at a high school reunion, and started chatting again. So he was totally shocked when all this went down. Yeah. So let's see. It's at the 50-minute mark-ish.
Okay.
They're bad people. That's what it comes down to. And part of me is mad at myself for allowing me to have been friends with Wendi for as long as I was. And, it took about 1.5 to 2 years after Danny was murdered for me to really change my mind completely. But for a while, I mean, I would tell people all the time, I don't think Wendi was involved. I don't think Wendi was involved. Now I know without a shadow of a doubt that she was involved, and I'll tell anyone who asks me that. But again, you just, you sometimes when you're in the moment, you don't see it.
Yeah. I mean, it's very surreal. Like today, Stephen Webster was talking about the cognitive dissonance of like knowing Dan, but never being able to understand that he said he'll never understand that he was actually murdered. Like he just can't put 2 and 2 together. Yeah. But Paul,
okay. Wow. And the last little snippet here is Dave making some more comments about Georgia Kappelman's words after the trial, and then we can give our commentary.
All right.
Someone said, what about, do we need to stay tuned? They shouted from the back because those were her words. And I have to watch the tape, but Georgia looked at my camera and said, you could stay tuned. You could stay tuned. He said something like that. And that was very frightening. If I'm Wendi Adelson, I'm nervous tonight. I mean, Dave Ehrenberg, before we get to Bill's comment here, I mean, you're the former state attorney. You're the Jack Campbell at one point of Palm Beach County, and Jack was there. Jack cut the interview off after a while because he knew how tired Georgia was. And also, quite frankly, I think he was getting uncomfortable with the amount of Wendi questions coming at Georgia. But what do you make of that? We'll watch the tape either today or tomorrow, and the COE is going to post it, obviously, under the video tab. But what do you make of the fact that that she said that? She kind of looked and said, you could stay tuned. You could stay tuned.
Yeah, well, didn't she say that after Charlie's trial about Donna, right? So, I mean, she's tipping her hat, her hand. She's showing her cards, to use another metaphor. I texted Jack Campbell after the verdict, and I gave him huge congratulations, all caps, and how great he and Georgia are. And I then put in, I said, and next stop, ... He gave a heart to my my comment. Doesn't mean, by the way, it doesn't mean that he was trying to tell me anything. He has always avoided telling me any inside information about the case. But when you read between the lines of Georgia's comments and the way that this office has been handling this case, one step at a time, this goes right to Wendi. And if you're Wendi, you're looking for the next flight to Vietnam.
Yeah, and that's why I was asking ChatGPT how long the paddling is to Havana from Miami.
Okay, any commentary there?
The second clip with the gentleman talking about he was mad with himself for staying friends so long. Listen, I can understand you want to think the best of people that you know. How many times do, we see the neighbor say, oh, our neighbor was so wonderful. You never would have thought that they could, be able to do this. So you want to think the best of people that you personally know. You don't want to think that they could be so conniving and plotting and mischievous, mischief makers. So I understand his sentiments, and I hope he doesn't beat himself up too much. Now he sees the light, so he's talking his truth now. He sees the light, and hopefully he can, convince other people who are in the same position of what he's been. What is this?
I know. Thank you guys in the chat. Jeez, I just got this. Oh my gosh.
Bring
So
trial
she is, yeah, right. Motion for a new trial and for leave to interview jurors. Well, Charlie through Rash Bomb sort of raised a similar issue too, which quickly got shot down because they said
Right.
some juror, alternate juror back then had raised an issue saying that other people were on a group chat together
Talking.
during the trial. But
Mhm.
let's see what she is alleging.
Yeah, let's see.
Okay, so
Number
filed
five,
within 10 days. She wants to interview. See,
number 5 and
number
7.
5, I'm pretty sure number 5 was one of the men that Joel interviewed on
Really?
STS. Maybe the sprinkler guy, the older person,
Military
Mitchell.
man.
Yes, yes. She's
Okay.
saying conduct, verdict is contrary to the law or weight of the evidence. The court erred in a decision of
Any matter of
any
law.
matter of law and for other cause not due to Mrs. Adelson's fault. She didn't receive a fair and impartial trial. Okay, so this is where
Oh,
the
please. In the court's
instructions.
preliminary, you want me to read it, Judy?
Yes.
Okay. In the court's preliminary instructions to the jury, the standard instruction was read. You are also not permitted to communicate about this case with anyone, including your spouse, family members, friends, neighbors, and even your fellow jurors. No communication includes no in-person, telephonic, or electronic communication, such as emailing, text messaging, posting information on social media or a website, or any other form of communication. Duh, this is during the trial, right? Subsequent to the trial,
Oh,
juror number 7 went viral on
JC.
TikTok concerning her jury service. She revealed that she posted to TikTok during the trial. In reviewing juror number 7's TikTok account, the undersigned identified she posted on TikTok that she was selected as a juror on August 26, 2025. A flash drive with this video will be provided to the court, as the undersigned has been informed that particular TikTok was deleted by the juror from her account. The undersigned seeks to interview her concerning her social media activity during the trial. Additionally, juror number 5 appeared on a podcast, Surviving the Survivor. During his appearance,
Sorry.
he revealed he considered how Mrs. Adelson reacted to the evidence and testimony admitted during the trial. Footnote 2. Although he subsequently stated he obviously did not consider that during deliberations, that he considered Mrs. Adelson's reactions whatsoever is concerning, as her reactions are not evidence and are extrinsic or external rather than that which adheres to the verdict. As a result, the undersigned seeks to interview juror number 7 concerning his consideration of Mrs. Adelson's reactions to the evidence.
Oh,
Do
geez.
they want
Well,
blinders on the jury? Like, seriously, what does footnote 2 say?
it says, based on the court's numerous admonitions to Mrs. Adelson during trial, she was prohibited from expressing any emotion during the trial. Well, she probably still did, but yeah. Well, let me just scroll through this a little because I don't expect you to read 18 pages,
Oh,
but
is it that long?
yeah. Well, part of
Okay.
it is probably just a certificate of service and signatures and stuff. So let's see. So here's some case law. Once improper contact or misconduct is established, a moving party is entitled to a new trial unless the opposing party can demonstrate that there is no reasonable possibility that the juror misconduct affected the verdict.
I want to see if there is a standard for even having a juror interview. That might have been further up, but
Yeah, I don't
that would
think
be
so.
interesting. That was the big question in the Karen Reed trial, right? The first one.
Oh,
They wanted
okay.
to
I didn't
talk to-
follow that very carefully.
Okay, yeah, they wanted to talk to the jurors. A party seeking a juror interview does not have to conclusively establish that the alleged juror misconduct occurred and actually prejudiced his case. So then what's the point? Rather, it is
Rather.
only necessary that the party establish a basis for an inquiry or grounds the party believes may exist.
Hmm.
Listen,
Okay.
they're trying to shoot their shot. They're trying everything that they can.
Yeah.
Even if they got another trial for Donna, which they're not, it's going to be the same result.
Yeah.
Does Donna have enough money for a new trial?
I'm sure they still have money. I mean, they were multi-millionaires. So, yeah, they need to evaluate whether the verdict is contrary to the weight of the evidence, which I don't think is going to happen, that it's not contrary to the weight of the evidence.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I can't remember where I saw the jury for woman's interview.
Well, she
Or
was
if it was
first.
clips, or if it was clips from her own TikTok where she was saying, yes, she did go onto social media during the trial, but her social media is not true crime related at all. It was like mommy content or something.
Mhm.
I can't remember where I heard that. Um,
Well, she was kind of all over the place, and Deep Dive True Crime has made multiple videos about her
oh,
interview.
really? Yeah.
Yeah. But it was first that I saw it on, was it Brandy Churchill, 13th Juror? So when Tanika and Kathy and I had a joint live stream, we
Yeah.
showed Brandy's video of the TikTok. So,
Oh, okay. Okay. They're
okay. So
talking
we got
about the snitch
Patricia.
again, about Miss
Yeah.
Bird. It seems like they're trying to throw
Oh,
a
they're
lot
saying
to
that
the wall.
she can't be considered credible. She testified the defense investigator with whom she spoke was a white woman. Ms. Khan was obviously not white. Well, I mean, that was up to the jury to determine. And I
Mhm.
don't think those jurors that spoke out gave her that much weight. They didn't really talk about her.
Yeah, the only thing I recall is hearing, maybe it was the young man who said he considered the testimony from anybody who had something to gain from testifying as, I don't know, he gave that less weight.
Okay, so they're trying to besmirch Drina Bernhardt also. But it's kind
Mhm.
of like, well, too bad the jury already assessed this stuff.
Yeah, right. Listen, they're going to try. They're going to try everything. Donna is probably working the phones and saying, listen, what about this? What about that? Do this, do that. So, yeah, Zellman's still working hard
Yeah,
for her.
the nerve of them, like right after the guilty verdict, to say there's no evidence that Mrs. Adelson committed any act or uttered any words in furtherance of the offense prior to it being completed. And for that reason, the evidence is not sufficient to support her conviction as a principal to first degree murder.
I think Jackie Fulford argued that in her closing
Mhm.
as well.
Yeah, it's kind of like,
There is
isn't this?
no evidence at all. So, but listen, they have a timetable, so they have to churn this out as quickly as
Within
possible
10 days.
Yeah. So I don't fault them for that. They have to do things or they'll waive their opportunity to do so. So they're doing their job. They're trying to be zealous advocates for Donna.
Mhm. They're making their money.
They're making their money. There was one thing about the trial though that I don't know, I thought was a little concerning from the defendant's table, the lack of objections.
Hmm.
There was they didn't object very much at all. Um, I don't know if they just didn't see a point in doing it or what, but there were many times that I was screaming out objection.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't really notice that, but yeah.
No,
Well,
all the leading. I mean,
mhm.
Fulford probably objected. I don't know, 5% to all the leading types of questions and stuff like that. So I thought that was interesting.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay. So once again, they're arguing that there's no evidence that Donna did some act to assist in the commission of the crime.
Mhm.
Okay. So they're bringing up that Williams case again. Proof of conspiracy is not enough. There must be some proof of some overt act or words uttered. Okay. Well, I know we were hoping to end this in an hour, but this just came up thanks to people in the chat
Yeah.
mentioning this. So I'll have to take a look at it later because I have real work to do. So, yeah. Let's see
Yeah.
here.
Act of delivering money to her son's house sufficiently establishes. However, nothing about delivering money after the murder. could
Well, I mean,
support a
kind of,
conviction as
if you
equal to the
use
murder.
your common sense, you can
Why else?
then realize that she was involved with the plotting and the planning,
Yeah.
because why would you bring money right
Mhm.
after the shooting occurs if you weren't involved in the pre-planning?
Exactly.
There are plenty of calls, communications between her and Charlie.
In fact,
Before that.
Madanoa testified during trial that the amount of payment was never addressed prior to the murder. Yeah, right. First of all,
Yeah.
nobody believes anything that Katie says. And
Yeah.
second of all, she wasn't privy to the conversations between Charlie and his mother.
Yeah. Okay, there's no evidence a tag number was ever given to Charlie, let alone Manuel Garcia Rivera. Well, hey, they're missing a period here. Typo. So this seems like a rush job here. They're like, we got 10 days. Hurry up and type up something. Okay. There's no evidence she made any payment prior to murder or promised any payment. Okay.
Mm-mm.
But this sounds like stuff they should argue on appeal. It seems
They're-
kind of weird.
They're trying to be a jury. They're trying to think of all the doubtful things that a jury would have come up with. So the jury considered all this stuff and they said it doesn't mean anything.
Mhm. Okay.
Wow.
So this is just them making the same arguments that they made during the trial.
Yeah, it looks like it.
And remember, Zellman made a couple of motions for acquittal, which were denied quickly.
Yes. Yeah.
Jeffrey. So bringing up these same points.
It's going to be the same result.
Yeah. Okay.
It's going to be the same
Definitely
result.
have to read this later.
When is her sentencing?
Oh, October 14th.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure because Judge Everett called it a case management hearing, but the other people on YouTube have been saying that's when sentencing will happen. In addition to Dave Ehrenberg said that's when sentencing is. So I'll go by what he says because I'm pretty sure Charlie's sentencing was also about a month
Yeah.
after his conviction. It was December, mid-December.
A few weeks after. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, okay. So the same old arguments. Evidence of flight was not that she was fleeing to avoid prosecution, but she believed in her son's innocence.
If you were convicted,
The wich hunt would
turn their
continue.
attention to her.
Yeah. That is evidence
Ding,
of
ding,
her
ding.
real fear. The real witch hunt would continue. Okay.
Oh my goodness, the witch hunt.
Oh, look, fancy. They like that word fancy. Remember when supposedly the jail staff called Donna a fancy white lady? So here it says, although the fancy presentations prepared by the state may have been persuasive to the jury, Mrs. Adelson asked the court to look objectively at the evidence, removing the improper stacking of inferences on which the jury's verdict is premised.
So they just want the jury's verdict to be overturned.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, screw these 12 people.
Right. Yeah.
Who cares what they thought?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Oh man.
Okay, I'll just kind of scroll through, and people who want to look at it can watch on replay.
Charlie, although transported from prison to testify, was not called as a witness.
Oh, did you see the transport video that Tanika's 2 cents got?
I didn't see that one.
Oh, you have
didn't
to
see
see
that one of Charlie or
Yeah, Charlie. Well, I think she had both, but I like the Charlie one because he was so happy to get Wendy's.
Oh,
They bought a biggie bag meal. Biggie meal.
my goodness. Uh,
Okay, this is a license plate thing.
okay.
What? See, there's another typo. It says Markel.
Markel's tag number.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what circumstantial evidence is, folks. You make logical assumptions.
Okay, they wanted to admit the complete 2023 planner because there were 39 other entries where she was trying to sell stuff as far back as January.
Personal items. That doesn't address the license plate number, though, the tag number.
Well, they're saying there's no evidence offered regarding
That
that
it was
tag
given.
number being provided to the shooters.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Exclusion of the planners infringed on her right to present a defense. Really? The evidence was important to defeat the argument that she was fleeing to avoid prosecution. Well, I think pretty much everybody thought that was pretty damning, that
Pretty cut and dry.
she was looking for non-extradition countries and then rushing to get an emergency visa to Vietnam, bought a
Of
one-way
course.
ticket.
Yeah. And was it that they did not purchase the tickets themselves? Somebody else purchased it on their behalf?
Well, that's what I'm not really sure, because the friend that testified, ultimately, it sounds like he just kind of helped them on the computer, but I don't think he personally paid for the tickets. I don't think so. Yeah. But it doesn't matter because they wanted the tickets.
They wanted the
They were
tickets.
trying to get on the flight. Yeah.
Right. And although her one friend, her golden girlfriend
Mhm.
said that they had been traveling before, even to Vietnam, I think.
Mhm.
We don't know, was it a one-way flight when they traveled in the past?
I doubt it.
Have they ever booked a one-way flight before? That's very odd.
Mhm.
Very odd.
Look at here. Can you read 64?
64. When the court would rule against the defendant on many occasions, the members of the gallery supporting the state would laugh out loud. Counsel for the defendant brought this to the attention of the court, and the court appropriately advised the gallery that this was not acceptable. The court did this on more than one occasion. However, the conduct continued throughout the trial, and the court took no action to remove those who violated his order. This undermined the credibility of the defense in the eyes of the jurors. Not only were they laughing out loud, videos and images captured through the live video casting revealed gallery members making faces and moving about to capture the attention of the jurors while testimony was underway.
Really? I didn't notice that.
I don't know. This interfered with the jurors' ability to focus on the evidence and distracted them from closing arguments. Really? Do they have evidence of this? Can they show something?
They're pretty far. I mean, the way the jurors are sitting, they're totally facing
directly
You know,
facing straight ahead.
where the attorneys giving closing were standing. So they're not looking anywhere way off to the left where,
Mhm. The gallery is.
yeah, where the observers were sitting. There was a lot of distance there.
Wow.
Mm.
The court admonished the defendant on numerous occasions that she was not permitted to show any emotion in the presence of the jury. The law does not require the defendant appear without any emotion. In fact, as in this case, appearing to be cold to the seriousness and evidence in the case may cause the jury to believe that defendant had no care or concern for what the victim endured. So they're turning that around and saying, wait, she should have been able to show some emotion. Wow. During the course of the trial, prior to the reading of the verdict, the defendant did not do anything to disrupt the proceedings. She did become tearful during her first sight of autopsy photographs and got choked up when her children appeared to testify against her. She did not speak out. She was not sobbing out loud. She was not crying out. She did need tissues to wipe away her tears, but she made no noises that distracted the jury in any way. Even the victim's parents noted that she showed no remorse due to her lack of emotion during the trial. This impacted the decision of the jury, resulting in Mrs. Adelson not receiving a fair trial. You want me to go on? Read 68? Oh, you're muted. You're still muted. I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
that's
Oh,
better.
okay. I'm trying to keep track of time here. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to go in about 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. Okay, so they couldn't go through every exhibit.
Oh, hold on. I want to see what they have to say about the judge forcing her to make a decision,
Okay.
because it looks
Okay,
like,
can you read
see,
from 70?
Not
Okay.
only did the court force the defendant to make an uninformed decision, he threatened to hold counsel for the defendant in contempt of court because they were continuing to speak to their client about this important decision that she had to make. This is about testifying, which again brought an audible derogatory response from the gallery.
Mm.
Was there? What was the response from the gallery?
Oh, I wasn't there. I'm sorry.
Oh,
So,
oddly enough, whenever the state needed additional time to set up electronics for opening statements, for witness testimony, for closing arguments, and even additional time to make their closing argument, the court not only gave them the additional time, he joked with the prosecutors about it, thus leaving the clear impression that he favored the state in this case. Surely, the decision of the defendant facing life in prison is more important than the extra time the state requested to conclude its closing argument. The defendant's request was not granted and made a huge impact on the outcome of the case. The court showed favoritism to the state at most every juncture of the trial. While the trial had delayed starting times to accommodate the state's needs, the defense was required to meet its tasks over the lunch breaks, thus not allowing counsel time to adequately meet the obligations of counsel for the trial, resulting in the inability to consume lunch over the break. The court sustained the objections of the state without giving the defense an opportunity to respond. Sometimes it was just obvious. Under some situations, sidebar agreements were made, but on more than one occasion, the court denied the defense's request to approach. Additionally, even when the court sustained a defense objection at sidebar, when the sidebar was concluded, the court announced to the jury that the objection was overruled. Really?
okay, I didn't.
During one sidebar discussion, the court asked counsel a question. As counsel attempted to answer the question, counsel was met with a scolding to not talk over the court. Counsel thereafter was prevented from answering the court's questions. The temperament of the court towards the defense counsel was regarded as negative and gave the appearance of partiality for the state on the part of the court to not only the defense, but spectators in the gallery, the media, and those viewing the trial through the media. Fellow defense attorneys commented that they had appeared before the court in trial on similar charges, and they were shocked to see the obvious disdain the court showed toward Mrs. Adelson and her counsel in this case. Although there was a standard jury instruction to the jury that they are to disregard anything that the court may have done that led them to believe he favored one outcome over another, and that was read in this case, it is not realistic that a jury can set those feelings aside. The jury clearly disregarded the instructions of the court on other issues and did so on this instruction as well. The totality of the circumstances present during Mrs. Adelson's trial established inherent prejudice, to wit,
To wit,
There was an unacceptable risk of impermissible factors coming into play. So they're asking for a new trial and further relief as is just and proper. Wow.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you for
Wow.
reading this.
No problem.
Jeez. Well, I hope it gets denied. I think it will. Well, maybe they should be allowed to interview those couple of jurors if they want to. I think that's fair.
If the standards are met, I'm not exactly sure what the standard is, or if they, outlined it properly in their brief. But if the standard is met, the legal standard to go back and talk to specific jurors, then sure, they'll
Yeah.
tell the truth.
Yeah. I think this does go back to Judge Everett, but I'm just guessing. So
Well,
Yeah.
it's clear that they think that Judge Everett was not the man, and everybody knows that Judge Everett, he did what he needed to do.
yeah, he seemed very fair to both sides. He didn't seem biased to me.
Me neither. And I can't think, well, I guess the only negative commentary that I have heard was the moment where he demanded a decision from Donna about whether to testify or not.
Mhm.
That's the only thing that I can think of. In the past 2 years that this case has been lingering, that, maybe could be a little questionable about what he did. But I don't see them having any hope for a new trial here.
Mhm. Yeah, so I'm just assuming some of these same points are going to be brought up on appeal.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Okay, well, interesting. This is kind of a surprise, but like you said, it seems like they're just doing their job. They just need to try
Yeah.
anything to
Yeah.
help their client who has deep pockets.
Exactly. I don't fault them at all for doing this. Clients have a right to, have a vigorous defense and vigorous counsel. If it were you or I, we'd want the same thing, a lawyer who's going to do everything in their power to try and get the result that we want, right?
Yeah, exactly. They'll do what they can. Yeah, what's the default? Well, the defendant doesn't have to testify in a criminal trial. It's supposed to not give off a negative inference of guilt. So the jury is instructed that they're not supposed to hold it against the person if they choose not to testify. Yeah. So I think they still have many millions of dollars because of their rental property and investments. So,
Yeah, they definitely still have cash coming in from the rental properties. I don't know what their investments are looking like.
yeah. No, I'm sure they have plenty of investments, they
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting that the family's probably saving money now because Donna is locked up. So she's not out there spending money on her Nordstrom outfits and fancy vacations and
That's one way of looking at it. Yeah.
facelifts and Botox or
Yeah. You're right.
trainer. Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
So, yeah. Okay. Well, I think we probably should get going. I know it's a busy work day and I have another live stream at 5 o'clock. So I'm like, oh, geez.
Oh,
And I got to
awesome.
get some real work done. But I hopefully stay in touch and hopefully you'll come back again because people are saying they're really happy to hear from you.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
I miss you guys.
We missed you. We missed you on YouTube. Come back. And
Oh.
you know what? I think I told you this, but I really appreciated your recaps of the Karen Reed trial. And
Oh,
too
those were
bad.
a long time ago.
I know, but I really appreciated it because they were so concise, like 10-minute blurbs or whatever it was, 10, 15 minutes each day recaps.
Yeah.
And it's just a shame that you didn't get enough views because you deserve way more views for your
Oh,
recaps.
yeah. That was an undertaking that I didn't realize how big of an undertaking it was going to be. I didn't know that the trial was going to be like 30 something days. And
Gee.
I was just like, oh my God. why did I decide to do this? It was taxing. It was
Yeah.
taxing. But
Oh,
I would love to you know,
yeah.
do something that fits into the schedule, follow another case or something. I think there's a couple cases coming up. So yeah, I know Courtney Clenny, I think, is coming up in December, I want to say. I just don't know what the interest is from our, you know,
Our true crime
corner,
Markel
yeah, our corner of
community.
YouTube. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Oh, okay.
But
Well,
thank
hope
you
to
for
see you
having me.
again. Yeah, thank you. Have a great day then. Thanks, you
All
guys.
right.
To see you
Okay.
at 5 o'clock.
All
Take
right.
care.
Bye bye.
Bye.